All right. Good afternoon again. It's me again, Barbara Rooney, with the Governor's Highway Safety Association. It is my pleasure to introduce Sophie Schulman, Deputy Administrator of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Deputy Administrator Schulman provides executive leadership for the nation's vehicle safety agency that sets and enforces vehicle safety standards, administers hundreds of millions of dollars in grants to state highway safety offices, thank you very much, and educates Americans to help them drive, ride, and walk safely. NHTSA's work also includes establishing fuel economy regulations and helping facilitate the testing and deployment of advanced vehicle technologies. Prior to joining NHTSA, Schulman was the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy at the U.S. Department of Transportation. Now, this was a return to U.S. DOT for Schulman, who previously served in several roles within U.S. DOT, including as Acting Assistant Secretary for Research and Technology and as a Senior Policy Advisor in the Secretary's Office. Her federal service includes the U.S. Department of Energy, the Office of Management and Budget, and White House Domestic Policy Council. Schulman's experience extends to the state level as well, where she worked as Chief of Innovative Mobility for the Colorado Department of Transportation. She received her bachelor's and master's degrees in international studies for Johns Hopkins University. Deputy Administrator Schulman will be joined for the awards presentations by Associate Administrator for Regional Operations and Program Delivery, Ms. Barbara Sowers, and Highway Safety Specialist Carolyn Cash. Without further delay, let's hear it for Deputy Administrator Schulman.
Thank you, Barbara. So nice to finally meet you in person, and I appreciate NHTSA's longstanding relationship with GHSA. I'd also like to thank the Lifesavers Conference Board Chair, Russ Rader, the board, and the Lifesavers Planning Committee for their incredible work in ensuring this conference is successful. I also appreciate the Lifesavers Board allowing us to hold our distracted driving kickoff press event in the exhibit hall earlier this morning. It was a fantastic event. And thanks to everyone here for joining us as we honor the incredible recipients of this year's NHTSA Public Service Awards. I'm honored to be at Lifesavers representing NHTSA, where I serve as Deputy Administrator, and to be back in my hometown of Seattle. I joined the agency at the end of January, but I came to NHTSA after 2 years in the Secretary's office, where we developed and advocated for what is now the bipartisan infrastructure law. This transformational legislation will impact Americans for decades to come, and I'm so proud to see safety programs, such as Safe Streets and Roads for All, going out the door to communities. As you just heard, earlier in my career, I worked at a state DOT, and I know how meaningful federal dollars and leadership can be to change safety outcomes at the local level. I'm so glad to call NHTSA home now and have a more direct opportunity to work with an amazing team to save lives on our roadways. I connect deeply with NHTSA's Safety First mission. I had my first child in October, and as a new mom, I think about safety every time I put him in his car seat. Speaking of that, thank you to all of the excellent, dedicated CPS technicians and instructors who ensure our most precious passengers are safe. I could not imagine if something happened to him, and I don't want any family to suffer that kind of loss. Unfortunately, probably everyone in this room knows someone who has been a crash victim, and for some, it meant the death of someone close. These lives can never be replaced. There's no substitute for a spouse, parent, sibling, or best friend. Time heals slowly, but we don't forget. We can honor their memory by striving to make our roads safer and protect everyone. As Deputy Administrator, I'm here to champion NHTSA's work in saving lives, preventing injuries, and reducing crashes. I am wholly committed to NHTSA's life-saving mission, and we cannot achieve it without the work and the support of everyone in this room. We are all partners in traffic safety. Today, we gather to reflect on the state of traffic safety and recognize those who have excelled in their field of work. The 9 individuals and 1 organization we will honor in a few minutes are committed to improving their communities, changing the traffic safety culture, and saving lives. Their work runs the gamut of traffic safety, from young driver safety to move over laws that protect first responders. They're embracing the safe system approach, weaving it throughout their programs. They're educating the public about the life-saving benefits of seatbelts and preventing impaired driving. They're incorporating equity throughout their work, offering communications in languages other than English, and they're providing child passenger safety assistance to people in need, including refugees from Afghanistan and Ukraine. Thank you to all of our award winners for their dedication to our shared safety mission. We literally could not do it without you. We are inspired by your work and celebrate your accomplishments. Their work, and all of our work, is urgent because motor vehicle traffic fatalities make up about 95% of all transportation-related deaths in this country. We are committed to improving safety for all road users, drivers and passengers, pedestrians, cyclists, children, motorcyclists, older Americans, and people with disabilities. Traffic fatalities and the fatality rate declined consistently for 30 years, but progress has stalled over the last decade and went in the wrong direction in 2020 and 2021. Earlier this week, NHTSA released new data on the 2021 traffic fatality statistics. In 2021, fatalities increased by 10%, with 42,939 lives lost on our nation's roadways. This is the highest number since 2005 and the highest percentage increase since NHTSA's fatality analysis reporting system began collecting data in 1975. The fatality rate per 100 million vehicle miles traveled increased to 1.37, a 2.2% increase from what we saw in 2020. And fatalities increased in 43 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. The risky driving behaviors that increased in 2020 during the pandemic continued into 2021, with speeding, impaired, unbelted, and distracted fatalities on the rise. Speaking of distracted driving, as I mentioned earlier, this morning we kicked off NHTSA's annual You Text, You Drive, You Pay campaign. It's also National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and we ask you to join us in spreading the word that distractions can be deadly. Vulnerable road users bear a heavy burden from distracted driving and other risky driving behaviors. Pedestrian fatalities increased 13% in 2021, and cyclist fatalities rose by 2%. We are still finalizing preliminary data for 2022, but we are encouraged by what we've seen so far. In the first 9 months of 2022, estimated fatalities decreased by 0.2%, halting a trend of rising fatalities. We are optimistic that this will continue. Still, a 0.2% decline isn't nearly enough. The only thing we can be satisfied with is 0 fatalities. I know that was a lot of numbers, but these are real lives, and driving down fatalities and reaching 0 will take a lot of hard work. There's no magic solution. Instead, it will take dedication from all of you and a combination of factors, including education, enforcement, vehicle design and technology, and infrastructure improvements to save lives. These are all topics of conversation at Lifesavers, and I hope you'll have many ideas to implement when you get home. Secretary Buttigieg has an example that I want to share, which is really thought-provoking. He says, think about the fact that when someone is about to get in the car to go somewhere, we say, drive safe. When someone's headed to a restaurant, we don't say, eat safe. Now, I share that because as a society, we've accepted a certain level of risk with vehicle travel. If we're going to reach the day when there are no more vehicle fatalities, we must embrace a new way of thinking. That's why NHTSA and the whole U.S. Department of Transportation are leaning in on the safe system approach. And I know many of your organizations, cities, and states have as well, because the safe system approach is the way we will save lives. The safe system approach is holistic. It looks at all the factors in traffic fatalities and proposes solutions that address short and long-term objectives. The safe system approach is people-focused. For example, using a safe system approach, infrastructure is designed and maintained to serve users' needs. And the safe system approach is equitable. It considers the needs of everyone on the road, not just drivers and occupants. This is the cornerstone of the department's National Roadway Safety Strategy. We want everyone in the transportation space to consider the strategy's 5 principles: safer people, safer roads, safer vehicles, safer speeds, and post-crash care. All of these elements need to be part of our focus for our transportation system to function safely for everyone. Earlier this year, the department celebrated the first anniversary of the National Roadway Safety Strategy with the release of a progress report. And the Secretary launched a call to action so that all of our stakeholders can share how they are taking action to address roadway safety. Nearly 50 organizations and private sector companies answered the call on day 1, and I'm sure some of you are in this room. And if your organization hasn't joined yet, I hope you'll take a look at the call to action at transportation.gov/NRSS and sign on. We know that reaching zero is possible because we see communities achieving zero and making tremendous strides in safety. We know it will require consistent, dedicated focus and work from all of you, every level of government, safety advocates, and the private sector. Solving it will take all of us working together in new ways, with new resources and with new benchmarks. Many of our new approaches will originate from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, or bill, and its vast new resources for traffic safety. The law increases NHTSA's overall budget by more than 50%, representing the most significant investment in motor vehicle and highway safety since NHTSA was established more than 50 years ago. Bill gives us the resources to implement the Safe System approach and the National Roadway Safety Strategy. It also directs us to conduct a number of new research projects and rulemakings. And NHTSA continues to work as quickly as possible on critical rules that promote our safety priorities. That includes occupant safety, as we're working to publish a rulemaking proposal for seatbelt reminder systems in passenger vehicles, as well as finalizing a rule to upgrade the frontal crash test for child restraint systems. And we'll be implementing the many new requirements under bill, including automatic emergency braking, or AEB. And of course, we recently published the final rule implementing the state highway safety programs under bill, which includes expanding states' planning horizons by introducing a 3-year highway safety plan. As I mentioned earlier, Bill also established the new Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program with $5 billion over the next 5 years. This program funds regional, local, and tribal initiatives through grants to prevent roadway deaths and serious injuries. In February, the Secretary announced the first round of funding with more than $800 million going to 510 communities nationwide. I encourage you to apply for the next round of grants, and the new funding opportunity is now open. It's live on grants.gov and open for applications through July 10th. So please go apply for that, and also please take advantage of all the other federal grants available to help you make your communities safer places for everyone to live, work, and play. The traffic safety community is special because we're united in one of the noblest of goals: saving lives. By embracing the Safe System approach and committing to the day when we can see zero fatalities, we make our roads safer for everyone, no matter how they drive, walk, bike, ride, or roll. Thank you so much for your time and for having me here today. And now, Barb and Caroline, please join me for the presentation of the 2023 NHTSA Public Service Awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. Here we go. First of our honorees today is Taurine Crepy. Taurine Crepy is the president of Safe Kids Worldwide, a global nonprofit dedicated to protecting kids from preventable injuries. Under her leadership, the Safe Kids Buckle Up program has evolved into the most comprehensive child passenger safety program in the world. Through this program, Safe Kids Worldwide has conducted more than 80,000 car seat checks, provided more than 500,000 car seats to at-risk families, and checked and documented more than 2.2 million car seat interventions. Taurine has also expanded the Safe Kids Walk This Way pedestrian safety program to reach more than 22 million children in 10 countries, and has also helped expand the Child Passenger Safety Training Program, training and certifying more than 180,000 child passenger safety technicians, of which 43,000 technicians are active today. Taurine led a blue ribbon panel and convened a consortium to ensure children are considered in the design and development of autonomous vehicles. She is a passionate advocate focusing on support for underserved and high-risk communities and recently unveiled Safe Kids Worldwide's new strategic direction centered around equity. Congratulations, Taurine. Next, we have Mr. Dan Goodman. Dan Goodman is a trusted resource for New Hampshire's media, state agencies, and legislators on the topics of marijuana-impaired driving, autonomous vehicles, child passenger safety, and distracted driving. Dan was a key advocate for helping modernize driver education in New Hampshire with legislation that approved online delivery, which expanded the accessibility for quality driver education statewide. Dan was also a key advocate for opposing numerous bills in New Hampshire that would negatively impact highway safety. But perhaps most important, Dan is leading the charge to help New Hampshire become the 50th state to require the use of safety belts. Dan never gives up and continues to strive in his unwavering commitment to support this issue, as well as many other highway safety issues to help save lives on New Hampshire's roadways. Congratulations, Dan. Next, we have Charles T. Brown, the founder and CEO of Equitable Cities, where he transforms concepts and statistical analysis into meaningful action in communities across New Jersey. His firm is focused on the intersection of race and mobility. His presentations through the Vision Zero Network have reached thousands of transportation safety professionals nationwide in ways that are shaping both national and local conversations. This past year, he took his work to the next level by launching the Walking Toward Justice webinar series in collaboration with America Walks to provide an open forum for exploration of the intersection of history, race, class, gender, and politics with mobility. An active board member of America Walks and the NTSB Pedestrian Safety Committee, Professor Brown also models what he instructs on the Franklin Township, New Jersey Planning Board and mentors Black teens through Kappa Alpha Psi. Congratulations, Charles. Next, we have Stephen Story and James River Transportation. In 2018, Stephen Story, owner of James River Transportation, partnered with Virginia's State Highway Safety Office to test the new Driver Alcohol Detective System for Safety, or DADS. Stephen volunteered his fleet to test the DADS technology in real-world conditions, allowing the outfitting of several of his vehicles, providing thousands of breath samples and logging thousands of miles so the system could be perfected for consumer use. Allowing the DADS technology to remain installed in his vehicles, data has been continuously analyzed, thus helping designers make needed changes. James River Transportation drivers have logged more than 142,000 breath samples, almost 98,000 miles, 26,634 sensor hours over a course of 1,539 days. 4 years for those of us who can't do the math. Stephen has put safety as priority #1, pulling his vehicles off the road for periods of time and allowing DADS to be installed, so this life-saving technology will benefit us all. Accepting on behalf of Stephen today is Brian Richardson, Director of Safety Training at James River Transportation. Thank you. Next, we have Mr. William Hutchinson. After retiring from the Atlanta Fire Department, William Hutchinson became manager of the Atlanta Fire Department Fitting Station Program. William has trained over 500 firefighters as child passenger safety technicians. As a result, there are now at least 2 CPSTs available during each shift in each of the 34 fire stations within the Atlanta Fire Department. But wait, there's more. William has gone a step further by setting up partnerships with local hospitals throughout Atlanta, educating parents and fitting child passenger safety seats for newborns. William recognized the need to conduct outreach in low-income communities to help the underserved populations of Atlanta. So he developed many partnerships, including other local governments, nonprofits, and private business, to educate families in Atlanta and the immediate surrounding areas to ensure that all children are traveling safely. Accepting on his behalf today is Ms. Puckett Harden, Program Management Officer at Atlanta Fire and Rescue. She checked in today earlier. I don't see her, but we will make sure that we get her this award so that she can take it home to William Hutchinson. Is she coming? Oh, awesome. Thank you. All right. Now we have Andrea, Andy, Bill. Andrea, oh, here she comes. Come on, girl. It's like the Academy Awards when you can't get through the seats. All right. Next, we have Andrea, or Andy Bill, who has led the Traffic Operations and Safety Lab in Madison, Wisconsin since 2017. Her commitment to diversity of thought, inclusion, and vision has led to engagement of varied Wisconsin stakeholders with the safe system approach to traffic safety. Andy doesn't settle for just what is best today, but rather seeks out partnerships for tomorrow. Andy has brought a diverse community of participants together because of her constant sensitivity to the evolving needs of a safe community. Andy is the co-chair of the Traffic Records Coordinating Committee and has sought out new partners and encouraged creative thinking to solve long-standing problems. The impact of bringing together such a diverse mix of minds and points of view has led to the development of a far-reaching Wisconsin Strategic Highway Safety Plan that has implementation at the heart of the process. Congratulations, Andy. Next, we recognize the Oklahoma Challenge. A grassroots safety advocacy organization has shaped new awareness, communication, and educational initiatives to address the dire problem of distracted driving, especially among drivers 15 to 24 years of age. Guided by the passionate leadership of Linda Terrell, Oklahoma Challenge has expanded their teen safety program, reaching 264 schools in 69 of Oklahoma's 77 counties. Some examples of their success with teens and young people include Teen Traffic Safety Days, development of a new Oklahoma Safe Driving app that monitors speed, hard braking, sharp turns, and phone use while driving, with incentives to teens who are the safest drivers. And sponsorship of a student internship program that fosters Oklahoma Challenge College ambassadors. The Oklahoma Challenge Teen Safety Program is an outstanding model for effective partnerships with students statewide that relentlessly strives for true, safer driving behavior wherever Oklahoma teens and young people live and drive. Today, accepting on behalf of Oklahoma Challenge is Linda Terrell and Nellie Olson. Next, we have Rob Marone. In 2021, after the Colorado State Patrol experienced 5 troopers killed and 96 others struck by incidents, the chief of the Colorado State Patrol tasked Rob with developing a traffic incident management, or TIMS program, to make all members of the Colorado State Patrol safer. Rob assembled a working group and created the program CSP Next Gen TIMS. The goal was to train all uniformed members in the CSP from chief to trooper on next-gen TIMS within 10 months. All 670 active duty CSP law enforcement officers, from the newest troopers all the way to the chief, completed the national TIMS training, leading to a significant reduction in struck-by incidents in 2022. In that same year, the Emergency Responder Safety Institute recognized the CSP on becoming the first law enforcement agency to have all active duty officers earn the National Traffic Incident Management Training Certificate. The passion that Rob instilled in his command for responder safety and the relationships he built with fire, tow, city, emergency managers, maintenance chiefs, and local law enforcement was crucial. For this, we congratulate Rob. He was unable to join us due to a family emergency, but we will make sure he receives his award. Next, we honor Jill Cooper. Jill is co-director of the University of California, Berkeley Safe Transportation Research and Education Center. The grant programs that Jill directs have reached hundreds of underserved communities in California. One of those grant projects is the Community Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Training Program, which works to strengthen collaboration between all safety partners and collectively develop a community-driven safety action plan. In the last year, the elements and principles of the Safe System approach were adopted for the program, affirming that everyone should have access to safe public spaces, streets, and transportation choices. Equity is integrated into all layers of her work, addressing historical disinvestment and institutional biases. Last year, a new program was created, Comunidades Activas y Seguras, to better serve monolingual Spanish-speaking communities. The goal of this program is to engage non-English-speaking communities in discussing, organizing, and planning for pedestrian and bicycle safety improvements. Since joining UC Berkeley, Cooper has conducted interventions in hundreds of at-risk areas in the state of California, working to reduce traffic injuries and fatalities. Congratulations, Jill. And the last of today's recipients is Ceci Velez. The state of Washington recently resettled 2,000 Afghanistan refugees throughout the state. Once settled, most necessities were covered. But as one refugee found when pulled over by law enforcement for not having his child in a child passenger safety seat, educating Afghan refugees on the basics of traffic safety had not been covered as part of the resettlement. Ceci of the Bonnie Lake Police Department quickly recognized the need and reached out to the Department of Health's Refugee Settlement Office. Ceci was granted a NHTSA traffic safety grant through the Washington Traffic Safety Commission to create educational pamphlets and training curriculum for the newly settled refugees and to provide car safety seats. Working with Eastside Baby Corner, Ceci identified translators to help develop and deliver CPS materials and hands-on demonstrations in both Pashto and Dari languages, and bridged cultural differences, encouraging both fathers and mothers to attend the training sessions. Ceci provided more than 130 car safety seats to the Afghan families in need, but she is not done. Ceci and her team will offer a similar program for Ukrainian refugees currently resettling in Washington state. Congratulations, Ceci. Please join us in congratulating this year's awardees with one final round of applause.
How amazing is that? Ah, wonderful. I want to congratulate each of the NHTSA Public Service Award winners, and I'd like to thank Deputy Administrator Schulman, Associate Administrator Sowers, and Carolyn Cash for being here today and bestowing these awards on such deserving recipients. Again, congratulations. We thank all of you for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of the sessions this afternoon, and please remember to complete those workshop evaluations. Enjoy your day.